We just got off our 24th Royal Caribbean ship, and this is the good, bad, and ugly of Royal Caribbean cruises. JJ Cruise. Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Jordan.
And I'm Jared.
And this is JJ Cruise. Thank you so much for clicking into the video today. Well, this is your one-stop shop for all information, good, bad, and ugly about Royal Caribbean cruises.
These are the highlights, the lowlights, and the one ugly that we have found on 24 different Royal Caribbean cruise ships. We will get to all 30 very soon.
In this video, we're going to answer key questions like who is Royal Caribbean Cruises for? What is it like being on board their cruise ships? Do they have good food? Do they have good entertainment? And ultimately, do we like Royal Caribbean Cruises ourselves?
So if you are looking to plan your first cruise vacation on Royal Caribbean Cruises, watch this video in full and we'll give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you can tell for yourself whether or not Royal Caribbean's right for you.
Before we get into it, I do just want to invite you to subscribe to the channel. Of course, we are on the road to 100,000 subscribers. So if you like this video and you want to see more cruise content like this, please hit the subscribe button. And if you like the video today, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Royal Caribbean currently has 28 ships floating out on the water with 2 ships on the way. As a matter of fact, they just announced their latest ship, the 3rd Icon class ship, the Legend of the Seas. Like we said, we have sailed aboard 24 of those ships with a goal to get on the rest very soon.
Besides being home to the world's biggest cruise ship, Royal Caribbean ports in 30 different ports around the world. This is everything from North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Australia, you name it, Royal Caribbean really does get across the entire globe.
Let's start by talking about the good. And the first thing we want to highlight is Royal Caribbean ships. We already told you that there are 30 Royal Caribbean ships either out there on the waters or being built. Royal Caribbean is known for having the world's biggest cruise ship or the world's largest cruise ship at sea with the Icon class. And it also has some much more smaller, intimate ships sailing on the waters to very diverse ports.
The variety and options within Royal Caribbean's fleet is fantastic. We love the variety, whether you like a smaller ship that's going to go to unique ports or one of these larger ships where the ship itself is the destination. You have all of it within Royal Caribbean. This is perfect for multi-generational families where you have families of little ones to those of our older generations. No matter what your age, you're going to have a blast on one of Royal Caribbean ships.
For the most part, Royal Caribbean also keeps their ships very well maintained. We just got off of Radiance of the Seas, which is a Radiance class ship, and these ships are very, very meticulously maintained. Even though they're more than 20 years old, they feel fresh and still have a new vibe on board to them. So we appreciate that in general, Royal Caribbean keeps their ships well maintained and up to date.
It goes without saying that Royal Caribbean also has the best entertainment across all cruise lines. And that is something hard to compete with. There are a lot of different cruise lines out there that have fantastic entertainment, but there's only one cruise line that has the variety of entertainment options, including ice shows, Broadway-style theater, and an aqua show on their bigger, newer ships.
On the newer ships like the Quantum class, they also have the 270-degree theater that sits at the back of the ship and uses basically robot screens incorporated in their shows back there. So the variety of entertainment across the board on Royal Caribbean will not disappoint you or your family when stepping on board.
Hot cruise tip, our favorite for entertainment if you're going on a Royal Caribbean ship is Symphony of the Seas. Hairspray, flight, aqua shows in the aqua theater, all of them are fantastic on that cruise ship. So please, if you love entertainment, head on over to Symphony of the Seas.
Something else we love about Royal Caribbean is their casino program. If you've followed us for a while and you've watched this channel, you've probably seen videos on how you can earn free cruises or get a free annual cruise through the casino program at Club Royale. But we think that Royal Caribbean has one of the easiest and most transparent programs out there in terms of how to get a casino cruise. We have sailed on many casino cruises with Royal Caribbean, and if you want to check out exactly how you can do that, you can head over and check that video out on this channel.
Another favorite for cruisers are drink packages while cruising, and Royal Caribbean has one of the best drink packages for 2 reasons. First, there is no limit to the amount of drinks you can have each day. There are other cruise lines that might have 15 drinks as your limit, and you kind of have to worry about if you're gonna hit it or not. Not necessarily for us, but some other people have to worry about it. You do not have to worry on Royal Caribbean, as it is truly unlimited. Secondly, though, and more importantly, there's just one deluxe beverage package for those that want alcohol included. The great thing about that is you don't have to worry about price points. There are other cruise lines that have multiple layers, whether you want a basic or classic drink package or a premium package, and then you have to worry about if you want to spend the extra money or not. On Royal Caribbean, that's not the case. You have one package that covers almost every drink, unless it's a high-end shot of liquor from a $1,000 bottle. You can get pretty much any drink on the ship.
One thing that we love is a pool deck, and Royal Caribbean has some great pool decks on their ships. But the part of the pool deck that we spend the most time in is called the solarium, which is the adults only pool deck or pool area on all of their ships. The solarium is for those 18 and up, and they typically are really, really great parts of the ship. On the older ships like Radiance of the Seas, they're very eclectic and kind of overly themed, which is something that we really enjoy. And on the brand new ships, like for example, Icon of the Seas, you have the Hideaway, which feels like a Vegas-style beach club on board. From the old ships to the new ships, they've got great adults-only spaces, which really comes in clutch when you are looking at bringing your multi-generational family.
One thing that no other cruise line does, from what we have found so far, is have a 24-hour hot tub. Yes, Royal Caribbean has 24-hour hot tubs. Not all of them, but at least one hot tub on every ship, and it will rotate throughout the night, will be open 24/7. This is a favorite of ours because we love a late night hot tub. A lot of times not a lot of people know about it, so it ends up being a private experience for you and whoever you're traveling with, whether it's your significant other or maybe a group of friends.
We know one of the most frustrating things when you're on a cruise ship can be the cruise ship app. Every single cruise line has an app that typically will give you a schedule and some other maybe basic features or capabilities without Wi-Fi. Royal Caribbean, we believe, has the best app at sea. Not only is it extremely user-friendly, there is a complimentary chat feature that will allow you to chat with anyone else on the ship for free. This used to be something that you actually had to pay for, and this was a very positive change that came out of the pandemic, now offering a complimentary chat feature. It's great, especially if you have kids or teenagers that have devices, then you can track them and kind of understand where they are by chatting with them. But even for adults, for your spouse or for friends, when you don't have Wi-Fi, that app is a great tool to stay in touch with the people that you're with on board.
Along with the app comes the internet if you want to pay for it. We have tried the internet packages across many cruise lines, and Royal Caribbean's one of the most consistent. Now, will it always be perfect? No. This is still Wi-Fi at sea, but with Starlink, it has truly improved across the entire fleet, and we have really had overall a good experience with the Wi-Fi. Once again, I have to note, this is Wi-Fi at sea. This is never going to be like Wi-Fi at home, but the closest we've come to Wi-Fi at home has been on a Royal Caribbean cruise.
One thing we know people look for when they go on their cruise is food. And something we want to highlight here on the good list is Royal Caribbean's specialty dining. We actually think Royal Caribbean has a great variety of different types of specialty dining, from Chops, which is their steakhouse, to Hooked, which is a coastal seafood experience, all the way to places like Izumi, which is sushi. We would highly recommend checking out specialty dining on whatever Royal Caribbean cruise ship that you're going on, because it's something that we typically do take part in, and we find it to be quite delicious.
The specialty dining's even better if you're loyal to Royal or one of her sister companies, because status matching is another great thing about Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. With Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, you can status match from one of the sister brands, whether that's Celebrity or Silver Seas. You can status match across all three cruise lines. So if you're really high up in one of these other cruise lines, you can status match over for your first Royal Caribbean cruise and already start off with perks like buy one, get one specialty dining, which we do all the time.
One last thing we have to mention about the good here with Royal Caribbean is the fact that we are travel agents, and we can sometimes get lower discounted rates specifically with Royal Caribbean brands. So if you're looking for a Royal Caribbean cruise in the future, don't forget to come and check out our website, www.jjcruise.com, and let us know what we can help look for you in terms of booking your next Royal Caribbean cruise.
That was the good. Let's get into the bad. And before we do, as a reminder, we have our ugly after this. And this is something that truly sucks on Royal Caribbean and something you should know before booking your Royal Caribbean cruise.
For this first bad, we actually have some other videos about this topic and staying on Royal Caribbean, specifically in their staterooms, but we're going to quickly recap it here, and that's their connecting staterooms. We have had the worst experience on Royal Caribbean ships in connecting staterooms, and that specifically is in terms of noise. We've kind of felt like we've been sharing a room with a couple other people next door because we could hear every single thing that they said. It's truly just a paper door and not any type of barrier between rooms. So we often encourage our clients, and we encourage all of you watching at home, to stay away from connecting rooms.
Of course, if you're staying with family or friends, use these connecting rooms so we do not have to, because that is what they're meant for. But when everything else is sold out, sometimes it's the only thing left. Or if you're doing a guaranteed cabin, you might get placed in one of these connecting cabins. Another bad for us are honestly the casinos. Although it has one of the best casino programs, many of the casinos on their ships are so tight that you can't even get through to a machine you want to play. This is something that they really need to look at in the future, of getting more space for their casino or having less machines put together so that more people can be comfortable while playing.
One other thing that we find negative in their casinos is that most of the casinos on their ships are smoking, and they do get quite smoky, especially with so many people packed into their casinos. Now, a great thing is that Royal Caribbean is starting to add non-smoking casino spaces on multiple ships. Freedom of the Seas, for example, just got a brand new non-smoking casino in their promenade, so we're very encouraged by this, but in general, the majority of their casinos do get pretty smoky.
And if Royal Caribbean's listening, please start enforcing your policy of you have to be actively playing to smoke in the casino. Time and time again, there are tons of people jamming up the aisleways even more than they already are, smoking but not playing, so please start enforcing your own policy.
One of the changes that came out of the pandemic that really upset Royal Caribbean cruisers is their main dining room menu. Now, if you're about to try Royal Caribbean for the first time, this is not going to be an issue for you at all. But Royal Caribbean has limited their main dining room menu, made it smaller and the same across all of their ships. So it doesn't matter where you go or what night you go, you're always going to have the same food on, let's say, day 3 or day 4, whether you're cruising in North America or South America. Rarely does Royal Caribbean change up that main dining room menu. So if you cruise Royal Caribbean a lot, or if you're about to, just know that from time to time it can get a little tired.
These menus range from Mexican night to Italian nights to maybe even American or Caribbean nights. These menus are not bad in itself, but for those that are loyal cruisers can be very tiring, and that's where the specialty dining can come in play. Another rough thing for those booking newer cruise ships, so any of the Quantum class, Oasis class, or the new Icon class, is the reservation system for entertainment. This ranges from your comedy shows to that of the aqua shows or the main theater shows and ice shows. All of these have to be booked in advance to ensure you and your party can see the show you want to see at the time you want to see it.
For the most part, these do sell out. So there have been people that I know that have made the mistake of never looking at their cruise planner online before getting on board, and then they realize they really can't go into any of the shows. Now, the good news for you if you do this is that there are standby lines for pretty much every single show. But if the smaller venues, for example, like the comedy shows, sell out, that will not be something that you will most likely get into while you are on your cruise. This is, of course, only for the new ships. The older ships do not have any type of ticketing system required to see entertainment.
The big problem here is that Royal Caribbean doesn't consistently open up reservations for booking on the same day for all their ships. We have seen it all the way from just a week in advance to that of maybe 60 days in advance. Really, we have to be more consistent, Royal Caribbean, on this for cruisers that are wanting to book in advance. Otherwise, people miss it all the time. Join a roll call page on Facebook. This is a hot cruise tip. A lot of cruisers already do this, but it's completely free to you to do on Facebook. Go search your ship name and the date of sailing and find this free group to join And a lot of times someone's going to alert the entire group when reservations are open for booking for one of these newer Royal Caribbean cruise ships.
One other point of feedback that we've heard from a lot of cruisers that cruise Royal Caribbean all the time is that their drink menu on most of the ships isn't varied enough. They have their classic drink menu that features cocktails from all throughout the Caribbean on all of their ships. But really, you have to get on a ship like Icon of the Seas to truly enjoy a cocktail experience. Now, all of the Royal Caribbean ships can make all the different types of cocktails that you're used to. So things like pina coladas and margaritas, you can have wherever you want. But if you are a cocktail connoisseur, you might be a little frustrated on most of their ships with the lack of specialty cocktails or innovative cocktails that are available to you on a daily basis.
That was the bad. So now let's talk about the ugly. And this truly sucks on Royal Caribbean. The ugly is their Sailaway parties. Now, if you've cruised other cruise lines, especially Carnival Cruise Line, you know that they focus on a good Sailaway party. It's hard to have a frown on embarkation day on Carnival when you're sailing away because it's so much fun to be had on the pool deck.
We have heard from so many cruisers that specifically sail Carnival or maybe Disney on how incredible the Sailaway experience is. You are sailing away from land, setting on an adventure, going to different places around the world, and, well, often there just isn't a lot of people on the pool deck partaking in any type of dancing or party on board. This is something that sucks. You want your Sailaway experience to be a 10 out of 10, have that excitement going while you are sailing away on your cruise, and Royal Caribbean falls flat when it comes to Sailaway parties.
Now, if there is a good news or a sparkling light in the distance here, it's that they know it. And they're starting to improve this. For example, Utopia of the Seas is the newest cruise ship out right now as this video is being made. And they focus on having a true party scene on this ship for Sailaway as well as the rest of your cruise. So I think Royal Caribbean's aware of this. Hopefully this improves in the future. But if this is a focal point, if this is something you have to have for your cruise, Royal Caribbean's not going to be the cruise for you. For us, that is not the reason we cruise. We can go without the hour-long dance party and sail away on our own dime. And we are happy to do that with Royal Caribbean because for us, Royal Caribbean is one of the best cruise lines in the entire industry.
Yeah, Jared just said it. This is one of our favorite cruise lines. We love sailing Royal Caribbean. Of course, we've been on the majority of their ships, and we will continue to sail on Royal Caribbean because they offer great perks in their loyalty program. In general, we love the food and the entertainment, and our overall experience on board, we would say, is one of the better experiences we have had trying out different cruise lines in the industry.
So if you want to book your first or second or 40th Royal Caribbean cruise, go to jjcruise.com. Hopefully, if you book far enough in advance, we can get even better deal than you can find for prevailing rates online, as well as that refundable deposit.
Well, that was the good, bad, and ugly of Royal Caribbean. Now it's your turn to tell us in the comments, what do you think? Do you agree with our list? Do you disagree with our list? Is Royal Caribbean one that you think is for you? Let us know in the comments below what you think of Royal Caribbean cruises. Thank you so much for watching again. My name is Jordan.
And I'm Jared.
And until next time,
See ya.